a smarter way to mop? Try the Swiffer Power Mop. An all-in-one cleaning tool with a 360-degree swivel head that goes places a regular mop just can't. Mop smarter with the Swiffer Power Mop.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Boss, and this is a breakdown of the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine. This video is our extended, super duper cut of our trailer analysis. Sadly, our original video got pruned due to some technical issues, but it's okay because it gave us a chance to go even further into this trailer, to truly go through it frame by frame, again and again. And in this video include even more details that we found in our follow-up video, 20 more details, and then beyond that, even more details that we found since then, like another dozen or so. So apologies if you have seen parts of this video before, but you can just consider this video the master breakdown. And if this upload doesn't get as many views as before, that's okay. I just wanted all of this to be in one place for you guys, so let's do it. Here's my maximum effort, truly my maximum effort. Here we go.
What, nigga? Happened to who?
It's been a challenging few years, for sure. But I'm happy.
Who?
Each and every one of you.
I can't even put a face to that right now, bro. It's been 7 years since I was in high school.
This trailer opens with Wade's birthday party. Joining Wade is Vanessa, Blind Al, Dopinder, Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Yukio, and from the X-Force, Peter and Shatterstar. I'm also going to assume Brad Pitt is in this room as Vanisher, because there actually is a gap on either side of Shatterstar in this Polaroid where Vanisher is probably standing. Why not just
you have a brother?
Brad Pitt is in this movie. Now, this guy with the beard is named Buck. He's from the Sister Margaret's Mercenaries bar in the scene of the Deadpool 2 Super Duper cut when Wade was mourning the death of Vanessa and his inability to kill himself.
You got to send it to the chat, gang. I don't know who the fuck that is.
It's just one of the 5 stages of grief.
Jesus Christ, Buck. No more speaking lines for you.
Remember, Deadpool 2 ended with Wade using Cable's time travel wristwatch fixed by Yukio and Negasonic Teenage Warhead to alter history to prevent the death of Vanessa and also save members of the X-Force from dying, which is how Vanessa and Pete and Shatterstar are all back here. But there's no sighting of Bill Skarsgård as Zeitgeist or Terry Crews' Bedlam here, nor is there Domino nor Weasel. But TJ Miller had some controversy, so I guess I'm not that surprised he's not coming back. Now, Wade's birthday cake has yellow and blue icing, perhaps foreshadowing his destined encounter with yellow and blue-clad Wolverine. I also like how whoever iced this started to space out the letters of birthday. Spacing it out was too much at the beginning of the word, so they had to adjust halfway through and cram the rest of it in. Throughout Wade's apartment, you can see some Deadpool merch. That figurine sitting cross-legged on the green bookshelf behind Shatterstar. This is the pose in which we've often seen Wade in posters and promos, and we are reminded of our very first glimpse of the rebooted Deadpool in 2016 with his feet dangling from the overpass over the highway. On the shelf above that is a plushy Deadpool head, and then behind Dopinder and Colossus is some print art that looks like Roy Lichtenstein prints. Roy Lichtenstein was a 1960s pop artist known for comic strip inspired parody art. He was part of the same new art movement as Andy Warhol.
Yeah,
one of these stills looks like his famous In the Car painting.
What y'all adding me on?
Now with a woman driving. This is just a perfectly ironic set
what y'all said it on?
As Deadpool's role in the Marvel movies is to use the medium of comic book
what you send it on?
through which he parodies the genre. He subverts it by reversing roles just like this. And can we just shout out Dopinder now for being in this after Karen Sony just this past year
is it in messages or Instagram?
Now Wade has stapled to his head a toupee hairpiece, and you'll notice he is wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He wore the same shirt worn by Chunk in the Goonies in Deadpool 2. By the way, I broke down that amazing Richard Donner classic over on the Deep Dive channel. In both the 2016 and 2018 Deadpool movies, Wade typically wears Hawaiian shirts, but this one is actually the R.E. Dunn Tiger Surfrider shirt. And folks, it ain't cheap. The reason I'm mentioning it is the tiger of it all. Go get him, Tiger is MJ's catchphrase for Peter Parker.
Go get him, Tiger.
And Weasel says this phrase to Wade in the strip club in the 2016 movie where Stan Lee is the DJ.
Go get him, Tiger.
And Deadpool says it to Negasonic Teenage Warhead when she fights Angel Dust. Hey, that's a woman who's suing Star Wars now. That's fun. Now Wade says it's been a challenging few years.
And I have a Ying shotgun again.
And you can't help but feel a bit of a meta commentary on the past few years of the MCU, but you know, we're still happy. But there are some brief but worrisome shots of Wade with Vanessa. Like Vanessa sitting at a table, Wade covering his head, and then Vanessa just kind of awkwardly leaning Wade to smile to himself like he's burying some pain. And notice how she says, Make-A-Wish Buddy, and not Make-A-Wish Babe. or
He's
honey.
not in
Maybe
here,
I'm just
we're
reading
good.
into that part of it, but is it possible that by averting Vanessa's death by cheating fate, Wade might have put them on a different tragic timeline? Like maybe Vanessa has now gotten a cancer diagnosis because death finds a way. Remember, this all began with Wade getting a cancer diagnosis, and that's what led him to
What's
go
on the
into
stairs
Weapons
here?
Plus
What's
and
on the
getting
stairs
healing
here?
powers in his deformed
Alright,
skin. Wade could be kicking himself for taking Vanessa from
Cap
her
can,
timeline
cap can, they got all chaps.
dragging her into this timeline where her death would be a slow,
Alright, I got a
painful
camo
goodbye.
still.
Maybe even
They might have a lesion too,
his
or
head to
warden.
make Vanessa feel less self-conscious about having to wear a wig herself as she's undergoing chemo. But yeah.
Warden.
Told you, warden.
Vanessa tells Wade to make a wish, and he blows out the candle. But it's interesting that this trailer times the edit so that the moment Wade blows out the candle, the TVA Minutemen knock at the door, as if that, blowing out the candle, making the wish, was the trigger. The timing guy suggests that it's Wade's wish that the TVA considers the Nexus moment. Opening the trailer this way suggests that the entire movie of Deadpool and Wolverine is kind of classic wish fulfillment plot structure, where a character makes a wish or has some kind of desire. The rest of the story kind of makes that come true, turning the wish into a curse, and really just makes the hero question that this is what they
He
really
saw me
want.
blind.
These are the kind of stories that end with a
getting tired
character
of
kind
that
of
shit.
waking up from the dream, returning to their reality. And in this case, Wade may choose to live
It's
in
so
the dream in the MCU. We could end with a Marvel Cinematic Universe where it is implied to be all within the imagination of Deadpool. Like the MCU from here forward will be from Deadpool's perspective. It sounds complicated. I'm going to do a better job explaining it later in this video, but let's move on.
That's supposed to be scary.
It is.
Typing isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Okay, so we're in the hallway now. 4 TVA Minutemen are greeting Wade outside his door. They're wearing the black and orange armor that we've seen on the Loki series, but the 3 in the back wear these masks with orange visors, which look like SWAT or riot gear that we've never really seen the TVA use before, and they tackled some dangerous folks. But we have to ask, is Deadpool and Wolverine set before the Loki finale or after the Loki finale? Because remember, the TVA in its previous era used to protect the sacred timeline by pruning branch timelines created by these variants doing things that violated the direction history was supposed to go, at least according to the Kang variant he remains. And yeah, Wade, with all the stuff that he did in Deadpool 2's ending, like saving Vanessa and the X-Force, killing his Weapon 11 form from X-Men Origins Wolverine at the 3 Mile Island facility and saying, hey, to Logan, will the Wolverine in this movie remember that incident? Or is that just a Wolverine from a different timeline? Also, Deadpool 2's ending, and especially the super duper cut, totally lean into the fact that Deadpool tried to kill baby Hitler. Or did? All of these things definitely made Wade the kind of violator the TVA would typically target, at least in that old era. But as of the Loki Season 2 finale, we saw Loki march out into the temporal radiation of that exploding loom, weaving together the strands of time into his own loom in the shape of the Idrisil Worlds Tree that embraced and allowed to exist various branches in a kind of harmonious tree. So, branches and variants, the multiverse, everything Wade did would presumably be allowed under this new order, under God of Stories Loki, which please, we get a Loki cameo in this movie, please, please, please. I'm just saying that if the TVA, as we now know it to be in the MCU, wanted Deadpool, it would be for something else, not for him violating the timeline. Like, I think the clearest example of this is the TVA knocked on the door. Since when did the TVA knock on doors? They don't knock on doors. They're not that polite. They have their own time doors. They just kind of barge into any location in any branch and then just detain and prune. They don't care if there are any witnesses. So, yes, Wade, obviously, in this movie, is going to end up viewing the TVA antagonistically, but I think they need his help, and he's just going to do such a bad job of what they need him to do that they have to turn on him, and he's going to resist. Now, yes, I cannot be the only one obsessed with the fact that Wade's department number is 17. 17 is one of these recurring magic numbers in the MCU, like 17 was one of the Winter Soldier activation words. 17A was
You said
the
him?
number in Avengers compound that contained Tony Stark's Iron Spider armor in Infinity War. And in that same movie, T'Challa
No, I don't
ordered to
remember,
open
bro.
the Northwest Section 17 of Wakanda. I get asked about this all the time, and my answer is always the same. It's just that 17 is a weirdly specific prime number, and screenwriters like to use it because it's simultaneously a lot of something, but it's also not a ton of something. So in this case, the set decorator used 17 to show that Wade lives in a large building with at least 17 units in it. So it's just kind of a little way of showing that the guy is scraping by after no longer making that merc money. Like maybe he's killed everyone who can be killed in his universe, and all that business is dried up. But
For the second year in a row, Chevy Equinox has been ranked by J.D. Power #1 in new vehicle quality for compact SUVs. In other words, it's really good right from the start. Chevy Equinox, connected by OnStar.
Notice how a time door opens behind Wade and he is grabbed from behind, but the
Warden is on the
man
stairs.
grabs his hairpiece and pulls it forward.
Warden is on the
as he tries
stairs.
to keep Wade from being
Blunt.
pulled back. Why does he do this? Could it be that there's like two factions?
Yep, he's on the stage upstairs. He's upstairs, all the way
I
upstairs.
really just think that there's something about this hairpiece that this Minuteman doesn't like. Maybe he's worried it can be weaponized, or maybe Wade has a joke about it.
He going down, he going down, he going down. I shot him, I shot him, I shot him.
Thanos, Kingpin, Professor X.
He's dead.
This movie's villain, Cassandra Nova. And this Minuteman is like, that shit ain't real. And we see right here from the beginning how the humor of this film is going to be raunchier than what we're used to in the MCU as Wade makes this pegging joke. Yes, we did see him get pegged in the Valentine's Day montage of the first 2016 movie. And in this case, the time pruning sticks being used for that just put some weird thoughts in our heads whenever we rewatch characters getting pruned from behind in Loki. And yes, Wade looks directly into the camera saying this is a first for Disney. Until now, only She-Hulk and Wanda Maximoff have broken the fourth wall like this in the MCU. And it's both a weird and exhilarating feeling. But most importantly, this identifies Wade as a nexus being within the context of the story. And
Yeah, I didn't know him, cause I don't know who that is.
Okay, let's move on to the next part.
You're right.
Miss Wilson, you appear to have soiled yourself while unconscious.
I wasn't unconscious. Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me.
Now you see Wade with pins and staples still in his scalp, with the chunks of the wig still attached. He wakes up in the TVA interrogation room, sitting across from Matthew McFadden, whom closed captions confirm is playing a character named Paradox. Paradox is one of the many TVA agents in Marvel Comics, like Mr. Ouroboros or Mr. Mobius. But Paradox comes from She-Hulk, Volume 2, Number 3, when he rules over a case involving Jen Walters after she warned Hawkeye of his impending death. This trial ends with the death of Mr. Paradox and Mr. Ouroboros when they're killed by the villain clockwise. McFadden is known, of course, as Tom Wansgans from HBO's Succession, but here the actor is using his natural English accent that true McFadden fans know from his role as Mr. Darcy in 2005 Pride and Prejudice. The way, though, he just lingers on the word soiled with that whiff of disgust is just perfect. It's exactly what Tom Wansgans would say to Cousin Greg when he would stuff the break room snacks in the dog food bag. Now, Wade says he wasn't unconscious when he soiled himself. Solid joke, but we are left wondering why Wade would be asleep or even fake being asleep and get away with it, as normally the TVA detainees are not like knocked out. Normally they're forced through the same processing steps, put into TVA inmate attire after being processed. Wade is allowed to stay in his clothes here. He's not being treated as a temporal prisoner the way Loki and Sylvie were. Also, this room is pretty different from the other interrogation rooms.
He tried to get me. That was
It's
too
the
far
color
back.
green, and that's important because the TVA is specifically color-coded so that orange is for the security level, green is for the clerical/admin level, and gold is for the legal level. So Wade is not being detained as a security matter, he's being taken directly to the level where the TVA archives are. When Wade meets Paradox, Paradox says,
Walk with me.
I swear, I don't need to overanalyze the snap, but the gesture is pretty important to the MCU. It's from Thanos' big snap, to Hulk's big snap, to Tony Stark's big snap, and to the sexy snaps that Agatha Harkness did throughout WandaVision. But in this case, the exact sound of Matthew McFadden's snap, the way it echoes in this room, sounds almost exactly like the Disney Plus fanfare.
Walk with me.
I don't know what to make of this, but the MCU has established that all of its reality exists on Disney Plus, and it's controlled by the Kevin robot, because these are titles that She-Hulk physically swung from thumbnail to thumbnail of on the Disney Plus homepage. And I always thought it was interesting how she swung from Loki into the Assemble documentary. Like, Loki in the TVA is the important medium through which all meta things in the MCU have to cross through. And it's just important to remember that that robot and She-Hulk see the MCU through the same meta media lens that Deadpool and Paradox will in this movie. On to the next clip.
Drizz, go get the
Wait.
Diffuser is now secured.
Be a hero among heroes.
Okay, the door's open to a new part of the TVA that I don't think we saw in the Loki series.
Downy makes clothes softer, fresher, better. We breathe life into your laundry.
There's no particular color scheme in this room, but there's a white ceiling, there's a polished flat floor, there's a few clerical and legal workers walking around with a technician in a white lab coat, but in the distance is a wall showing us the sacred timeline. Now this is interesting, because overall the shape of the sacred timeline is similar to what it was before the Loki finale. Various strands leading to this bottleneck region in the middle, but now at the heart of that bottleneck is this hourglass shape, and of course the TVA logo is an hourglass. And then on the other side of that, the strands
You right there, still hallway.
of the Loki finale, the sacred timeline screen in the TVA monitor room was
He's pushing in.
degrees to reflect the Yggdrasil tree shape that Loki turned everything into. This wall is back on the horizontal axis. So it could just be that this Deadpool movie was shot independent of the way that the Loki production decided to end that series, or maybe this hourglass logo is just how the TVA illustrates Loki's version of the multiverse. Or really, this could just be a painting set in stone from the old era.
He ain't got no time.
And like the various murals and cans and the timekeepers that they left up in those final scenes of the Loki finale, they just kind of left this up as a relic so that they don't forget the historical mistakes that they made in the past.
I clutched that up, though. I clutched that up.
People, I guess, thought that looks like
Peek,
Timely's hair,
peek,
but no, this is just
peek.
a double
Papa
turret.
their ass. Hit
The
that.
Loki finale does not explicitly show what happened to Victor Timely, but I did go into this in a video, and I pointed out that he is most likely continuing to work at this new version of the TVA alongside
Yeah,
Ouroboros
stay
at that same desk, because Obi's desk, notice, is way better organized, and it looks like someone else is sharing
slow
the
they
workspace,
ass down.
and Victor and Obi are co-credited on that handbook.
Somebody
But
get a
the fact that the
lesion or
TVA
something?
has technicians in white lab coats at all is worth noting, because this is like a new position that we saw at the end of Loki, and I think it was just meant to show that this new era of the TVA is focused on gently nurturing the tree of time like gardeners or people working in a greenhouse, and that it's not their job to violently prune branches like lumberjacks. Hey, lumberjacks are cool. I don't mean to knock lumberjacks. Wade in this shot looks into a blue locker where his red and black Deadpool suit hangs. Inside this locker are stickers, "Please be kind," which I think comes from these shirts with bees around Mother Earth. And then there's this sticker of a bird on a soccer ball. I think it's Magpie. This logo is actually from the Notts County Football Club, which is a rival to Wrexham, who in season 2 of the Welcome to Wrexham FX docu-series was competing with Wrexham at the top of their league for the promotion spot. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney actually co-own Wrexham AFC, and Ryan Reynolds has big respect for the Notts County Club, and this is a shout out to them. Wade wears a blue polo with the employee name badge reading Wade Sales Associate Drymax. So it kind of seems like before running into the TVA in the first act of this movie, Wade has had to kind of take a day job for some extra money as this kind of auto supply store salesman. We're also reminded of the fact that Ryan Reynolds played Blue Shirt Guy in Pete and Sean Levy's past film, Free Guy. All right, let's move on.
Down to 5 seconds.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is
Bomb
about to
locations
change
are
forever.
secure.
I'm the Messiah.
Okay, we find ourselves in a new part of the TVA with flipped orange walls. Paradox in this light, you can see in addition to that orange tie, he's wearing a green plaid suit, and I think that's a pale canary yellow shirt. So really, his whole color scheme of his outfit are TVA colors. We see a wall of curved video screens. Some of them show parts of the TVA, others timeline-related data and charts, but one of the screens in the lower left actually shows Deadpool in a suit holding an Emmy statuette. This is from the recent video that Ryan Reynolds made in January 2024 when he and Rob McElhenney accepted the Emmy for their FX docu-series Welcome to Wrexham about their football club. Like, since that just happened last month, they just added that into this shot. But the three big upper screens show moments from MCU history. You see Iron Man skidding to a stop in his Mark 43 armor at the beginning of Age of Ultron when they were assaulting the Hydra base in the forests of Sokovia. In the middle is the full Avengers lineup during that battle as they all charged and leapt to the right in slow motion. And then on the right screen is Thor from Thor Ragnarok on the Rainbow Bridge after Hela sliced out his eye and he powered up as the God of Thunder. Shortly after this, we see the three screens with moments from 2014's Captain America the Winter Soldier. Steve Rogers Rogers fighting Batroc on the Lemurian star in the opening sequence, Steve flipping and landing with a shield through the smoke while trying to take down the Project Insight helicarriers, and then a close-up of Steve as he faced down Bucky during that battle. When footage of Captain America appears, notice how Wade salutes Steve on screen. I think no way to have this respect for Steve Rogers. It's just going to make it really fun if Chris Evans shows up in this movie playing Johnny Storm from the 2005-2007 Fantastic Four movies. And we should remember that Chris Evans made a cameo in Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy's previous movie, Free Guy, when Reynolds held up the Captain America shield. So when some of you guys make fun of me for theorizing that Taylor Swift could show up in this movie, I'm kind of like, dudes, Taylor is good friends with Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. They go to each other's parties. Ryan Reynolds got Brad Pitt to cameo in Deadpool 2, and putting Brad Pitt in the movie ain't easy, especially from the studio level, because it makes the movie a risk to distribute in China because the Chinese film board won't distribute Brad Pitt movies after 7 years in Tibet. That's facts. Look it up, folks. So I'm just saying crazier cameos have happened in Ryan Reynolds movies than Taylor Swift. Furthermore, a new poster was actually released for the movie showing Deadpool and Wolverine written in friendship bracelets.
I told you.
Yes, friendship bracelets. Anything. It's not like Taylor Swift invented friendship bracelets, but it is 2024, guys. Ever since the Eras tour started about a year ago, friendship bracelets have just kind of been.
Why the fuck I'm not at
synonymous
the top of the
with
leaderboard?
Taylor
What the
Swift.
fuck is going
And since
on?
Ryan Reynolds and his wife Blake Lively are friends with Taylor Swift, it just kind of feels like it's a hint that she's going to cameo in this movie, either as herself or the mutant singer Dazzler. Yes, go watch my NFL conspiracy video and take it with a grain of salt, but you just cannot deny the
I don't wanna
marketing
do
strategy being used by all sides to generate buzz for themselves and for each other. And before you just say that a Taylor Swift cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine would be the worst thing, think about it. A scene in which Taylor quickly shows up and then is immediately killed off like Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2, that'd be hilarious. And it would shut up all
putting
over
the Ella
the
on stairs.
Loki series. Mobius showed Loki similar clip shows from MCU history, but those focused on Loki's own life. Didn't really focus on just random other characters' lives. And most of the time when we revisited the past in the MCU, it was around 2012 with Battle of New York. Like Avengers Endgame featured a really long sequence set during that battle. This would really be the first time we revisited Age of Ultron and Captain America Winter Soldier, which are best known as the Hydra era of the MCU. Now this would be another corner of the TVA we've never been in, because remember when Mobius showed Loki his MCU past, it was in a time theater with
Somebody make a
projectors
rotate right here.
designed for that purpose. This video village seems to be set for a different purpose. Oh, one-shot energy, huh? I think I'll try it.
Somebody can grab it.
So what does one-shot focus shoe do?
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
You tell me.
Whoa, so one-shot really is all you need. Begin your transformation with one-shot energy today by going to oneshot.energy.com/newrockstars for 10% off your order. But next we see the shot of rolling desert hills. And there's this caravan of vehicles, almost like a Mad Max Fury Road style motley crew of wheels. These cars include, and I'm just going to describe them to you, a modified version of Red Skull's Hot Rod from Captain America the First Avenger, his V-16 coupe, also the Cupcake Truck from Moon Knight, and then there's this armored tank with a tall glowing pillar. This is the column of solar panels. We actually see this vehicle later in the trailer with its focus dish weapon. There's also a silver car with a 4 on the front, which is probably the Fantastic Four's car. That car is up front, leading back. Red Skull's Hot Rod is second from the back. The Cupcake Truck is right in front of that. We do see these vehicles later in the trailer. The Cupcake top of that truck is in the far left of the shot, and it really seems like the purpose of these vehicles is to tow these metal spherical cages. I wonder if the light loudspeakers we see atop that tank are meant to draw Goliath, and they put human bait in the cages. So based on later shots of these vehicles in the trailer, I think this will be the group that Aaron Stanford Pyro is with. Perhaps some other erased X-Men and Fox Marvel Universe heroes who got pruned to this wasteland, and they're just driving vehicles from all kinds of Marvel realities. I'm pretty sure this wasteland is the void from Loki, but the void that we saw on that
They're probably
show
gonna
was
come
like
right here behind
grassland
me.
that looked
Blue.
like the volume set. Honestly, this looks like a real landscape, and it looks great, but it must be like a different part of the void, one where there's not even grass or any kind of vegetation left.
Hey,
Next,
Bob,
we have
me.
a shot of this cryptic bald figure. I believe this is Emma Corrin's character. Emma Corrin played Diana Spencer in the middle seasons of The Crown. Emma Corrin has been speculated to play Cassandra Nova, who is the evil twin sister to Charles Xavier, who engaged him in a psychic battle while they were both in the womb, and Charles defeated her, but then she came back later in life for revenge. It's just that this figure is clearly bald, she seems female, and she is sitting sitting in this chair. So it may
Alright, I'm
be a
watching, I'm
Professor
watching.
X-style hover chair. So my guess is Ryan Reynolds put this shot in the trailer as a kind of callback to Marvel Studios putting Professor X's bald head and shoulder and arm in the Super Bowl trailer for Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness 2 years ago. Next, a shot of Deadpool sitting in some rock-walled room, framed in giant teeth in the
I'm
foreground.
glad it hit my
This
mind.
is actually Hulk's
didn't see
bed
it.
from Sakaar in Thor Ragnarok, in which the frame of the bed was a giant jawbone. And over this, we hear Wade say, "Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever," as he approaches this poker game in this nightclub. Sitting
How
facing
the fuck
away
he
from
shoot
us
me?
is some version of Wolverine in a white tux. I believe we're looking at Wolverine Patch, where Logan wears his white tux.
The mine gonna go off. There it go, there it go, there it go.
And he wears an eye patch.
Do it, do it, do it.
Is an alias used by Wolverine
One more.
since the 1980s, but recently, in
He planted.
2022, it came back as a solo run written by Larry Hama that follows Wolverine on a recon mission
Let's go,
to
boys.
Baltimore in the Princess Farm. And I think that is the part we are in here.
You bet that out right there.
You're in Madripoor. Previously, we've only seen Madripoor in The Falcon and the Winter Soldiers, and I've always wanted to visit more of this seedy criminal underbelly, but there are like two parts of Madripoor. There's like the poor criminal element, and then there's the wealthy elite, the characters that I guess like Sharon Carter are a part of now. But look at the exact framing of the shot. You'll notice that Wolverine Patch is perfectly blocking whoever the dealer is directly across from him. I am wondering if this is going to be revealed as Remy LeBeau, Gambit. Now, Taylor Kitsch played Gambit in a New Orleans card game in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but in this case, it could be Channing Tatum in the role, as his Gambit movie never made it out of development hell. You could totally imagine him showing up in this movie. But this version of Patch, I think, is a variant from the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, because he has a much slimmer build and a much shorter torso than Hugh Jackman does. Because Hugh Jackman's a tall guy. So I think Ryan Reynolds is going to pull a John Krasinski, Reed Richards, and cast Patch as an actor often fan cast as a possible new Wolverine. And the two actors everyone has been like, make them Wolverine, have been Daniel Radcliffe and Taron Egerton. In this case, I'm going to go with Egerton, because he has much more pronounced shoulders than Daniel Radcliffe does. And I don't know, it just kind of seems like Taron Egerton just man spreads more than Daniel Radcliffe does. And from the Matthew Vaughn Kingsman films, Taron Egerton just has a knack for playing suave, stylistic characters who seem to be cut from the cloth of 007. That said, Daniel Radcliffe has gotten into crazy shape recently for another film role, and I could see him filling out this suit. Either way, I think Daniel Radcliffe will appear in some scene in this movie. I just don't know if that is him here. Wade tells Paradox that he is the Messiah, Marvel Jesus. Marvel Jesus. And yeah, just hearing him say the word Marvel is kind of odd in the MCU when it's referring to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yes, this isn't weird for Deadpool. He always makes meta jokes and makes fun of himself, but it is just weird to hear it in the MCU. But I think it's great, because I believe that the reason Paradox in the TVA need Wade Wilson is that he is a special kind of Nexus being who can see reality for its cinematic framing. Beings like Deadpool and She-Hulk understand that they are in a movie universe. They are capable of commenting on it. And as we saw with She-Hulk and the Kevin robot, they are capable of suggesting changes to retcon and fix things that do not make sense. I think Paradox is going to explain that movie universes like the MCU and the Fox X-Men universe used to be strong and stable, but the more characters were prematurely killed off, or inexplicably resurrected, or histories were retconned, or just crappy adaptations happened, this created plot holes that weakened the continuities and really were the underlying causes of these in-universe incursions. Incursions like the one caused by Wanda in Strange and Multiverse of Madness, by Peter Parker in Doctor Strange and No Way Home, the incursions we saw in the Marvels. While these characters sparked the incursions and caused the spillovers, what led to those floodwaters rising was the erosion of logic in each of these universes. Each continuity got so strained that the border between these realities just started to chip away, and that the only way for the powers to be heightened would be crossover events. So really, it's going to be Marvel Studios' way of making fun of that trend and making fun of all of Marvel past, not just the MCU, but Fox Marvel that Kevin Feige was also a part of, behind the scenes making a lot of those decisions, as well as the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. And they're going to do it within this logic construct and rules set by the TVA. So I believe Deadpool's mission in this movie is going to be to use the the TVA to go back in time and fix every plot hole in every past era of Marvel. MCU, Fox Marvel, Sony Marvel. His goal will be to fill the plot holes, to patch the continuity. And this is going to take him on a journey of revisiting the banished misfit toys from throughout the multiverse, from all these movie universes who were just sadly erased from memory, as well as plot lines that just never had a chance. He's going to fix the MCU and the Fox Marvel universes, and that's why he considers himself this messiah figure, this Marvel Jesus. Only he can do it, and he's probably going to fail, and that's going to lead to Secret Wars. All right, let's move on. Okay, a rapid cut montage shows Deadpool suiting up with the help of this TVA armorer. We see a close-up of his zipper being zipped up, his butt being slapped, which reminds us of the weird butt shots and similar sequences in the 90s Batman films. And if you go frame by frame through Wade lowering his gun into the holster, you can see tiny text etched in gold, "Smile, wait for the flash." This TVA tailor, or armorer, wears white gloves, and he's the one who slaps Deadpool's ass with the white gloves. It just kind of feels like the joke here is that it could be like, Mickey Mouse slapping Deadpool's ass with these white gloved hands. And in some of the inserts, you can actually see the background of this tailor station in the TVA, and you see the shot of Deadpool flipping his gun into the holster as he faces to the left, but this shot is actually reversed, because you can tell by the TVA poster in the background.
Man, yo, I had this shit so bad. I had this shit so bad.
Why would the TVA need a tailor shop, you might ask? Why not just issue basic sizes of uniforms? Well, they all look great, let's be honest, and I kind of feel like their uniforms might be resistant to temporal radiation, so they might now upgrade the Deadpool suit to make it easier for him to hop around through time. In the elevator, Wade goes from his fixed to standing, but I'm pretty sure this shot is in reverse, because when you actually reverse this, it's clear that he's going down into a split. The reason I know that they probably did it this way is the same camera trick was used by Steven Spielberg for the splits in the opening dance number of Anything Goes in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where we should note Indiana Jones wears the same Sean Connery Goldfinger outfit that Wolverine patch wears in this movie. And just because I have to point out every number, the number on this elevator is 943. Maybe that's like the universe designation number, the way we have 616 and 838. Okay, we're back in the snowy forest that we saw before. Deadpool is just going wild on these TVA Minutemen, knives flung into their faces, sprays of blood. So a new detail I want to talk about here, I love the editing of this part of the trailer, because from the moment Deadpool lifts his leg in the elevator to go, his attacks all sync with the beat of the music. And the pose he makes are, and to be sure, it's him partying in that elevator. But this part has probably the craziest new detail that I spotted for this super duper cut of our trailer analysis. Because notice how Deadpool flings the 3 blades of these Minutemen, and while
There's one in the sight.
It's not exactly clear, and it's kind of hard to see the blades initially in Deadpool's fist before he releases them. Why is that? Well, I went through this frame by frame. I think he was actually holding these in between his knuckles like Wolverine's claws. In fact, I think these 3 blades might actually be 3 adamantine claws that Deadpool lifted from Wolverine's corpse. Because initially I wondered if these woods could be the forest of Sokovia from the beginning of Age of Ultron, and Deadpool is trying to save Aaron Taylor Johnson Quicksilver, because one of the biggest historical paradoxes is the fact that Evan Peters' Pietro Maximoff from the Fox films cameoed in WandaVision. That could happen in this movie, but I think this forest is a different location, but one we have seen before.
Who cleans this best? Tide. Get 3 times the cleaning power when you switch to Tide.
Look at this fallen tree in the overturned truck. This might actually be the woods near the Canadian border where Wolverine dies in the movie Logan. That tree could be the exact tree where X-24 impaled him. Like, notice how Deadpool fights TVA Minutemen in the same area, and later, behind this tree, he holds up his hand and says, "Wait, I think this could be the site of Logan's death." Now, in their announcement video back in September 2022, Ryan Reynolds promised that this movie would not touch Logan's death in the 2017 movie. But maybe the joke here is that it wouldn't successfully retcon Wolverine's death. That Wade will initially try to retcon it to save Wolverine, but then just find himself cosmically unable to. And then at that point, he would just wish to preserve the sanctity of the death, and then would unleash rage on these TVA Minutemen for desecrating the sacred burial site. Now, the TVA Minuteman whose head Deadpool slams over and over, I don't think that's a rock he's slamming his head on. It's the stump of the tree that was severed in Wolverine and X-24's fight that allowed Logan to be impaled. So Wade is taking out his rage of Logan's death on the TVA. Also, since this is on the border of Canada, maybe Ryan Reynolds is just going to consider this hallowed ground for that reason alone. Also, if Daphne Keane is returning to this film as X-23 Laura, this right here would be the perfect place for her to cameo, like a guardian who watches over Logan's gravesite and attacks anyone who gets too close. I just think the funniest version of this scene is Deadpool sobbing as he's says that he promised not to touch Wolverine's corpse, but he ends up having to yank apart his skeleton and the adamantium from his bones and throw the claws of the TVA, apologizing as he does this, because finally getting to this location would be kind of Wade's destiny. Deadpool 2's final act featured him parodying Logan's death scene. And then, probably the coolest shot of the trailer, we see Deadpool in front of the ruins of the freaking 20th Century Fox logo. And yes, it is completely meta and bizarre, and I love it. But it speaks to Wade's ability to see these universes the way Kevin and She-Hulk do as the products of film studios driven by capitalistic and algorithmic forces. Where, as we see increasingly by horrible decisions by like Warner Brothers to just erase movies as tax write-offs, this is where the ruins of those movies go. And a subtle thing I just realized about the way this Fox Studio logo is buried, the word Fox is mostly submerged beneath the terrain. As when Disney bought Fox's film and TV divisions, they renamed the studio division to just 21st Century. They dropped the Fox. But in this case, notice that they left the X of it visible. As with many of the X-Men films, the X in Fox would often glow for a few frames longer on the fades to black in the opening seconds. This is the many details you will appreciate in our X-Men Next Nick rewatch series here on New Rockstars. But yeah, I just can't get enough of the shot. Deadpool flinging his bullet magazines around to reload both pistols in one fluid motion. Ryan Reynolds has always insisted on this kind of impressive stunt work, and not just in the 2016 and 2018 Deadpool movies. He had a pretty sick bullet slice stunt in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and reloading this way is what Agent Zero did in Origins. And you'll notice on the base of each of his guns are these little Deadpool head logos. But then there's this other chunk that Deadpool lands on, and I just realized it's kind of like a seesaw, and this is what causes the bullet magazine to fling up for him to do this reloading move. Then as the camera turns to the right on Deadpool, in the ruins in the background, I believe that is Toronto's CN Tower. Just another Canada reference there. And just past that is a tan-colored conical thatched roof that I believe might be one of the rondavels that top off the skyscrapers in the Golden City in Wakanda in the Black Panther movies. Okay, on to the next clip.
Bomb is down, bomb is down.
Okay,
They picked it up, they picked it up, they picked it up.
Thanks for Deadpool to come loose his other spleen, and then he's snatched up by purple smoke. This is Elias, the consumer of pruned people and things from the Void in the Loki series. So this is definitely the Void. We didn't really see Elias in Loki season 2, but in the last shot of Renslayer, she was facing down Elias, so does that make a Renslayer cameo even more likely in this movie? Now, in the closed captioning, Wade's response is, oh my god. While they censor it in the text captions, they do not censor it in the audio of this trailer. So did Deadpool sneak the first F-bomb in a Marvel trailer? In the shot where the TVA agent gets swept up by Elias, on the left side of frame are a few motorcycles. One of them has a holster for a rifle. I think this may be a version of Captain America's motorcycle from World War II and Captain America the First Avenger. This armed scavenger in his void location wears a gas mask while this armored vehicle unfolds this dish. I wonder if this is a kind of sonic cannon, maybe an Elias repeller, maybe like the sonic cannons used on Hulk and then were later equipped on Tony Stark's drones. Another new detail I spotted for this super duper extended cut of the trailer breakdown, many are wondering if this interesting texture on the dish kind of looks like the Asgardian pattern of the Bifrost. You know, the burn marks that are left whenever the Bifrost bridge blasts into a location. Could this weapon contain some Asgardian technology that blasts the Bifrost at targets to teleport them away or teleports them toward them, trapping them in these spherical cages that they drag behind this truck? Now, a few people are wondering if these people with metal masks and hooded cloaks, that one of them could be Dr. Doom. No, I don't think this is Doom. It's just not how Marvel Studios would introduce Dr. Doom to the MCU, but I do think under these masks will be some interesting VIPs for Marvel packs. And I do have to point out here that on the background on the left, I'm pretty sure that is a crashed helicarrier. You did see one of these helicarriers in the Void in Loki's One Episode 5. But this mechanical arm is actually the Canadarm that was supplied from Canada for the Space Shuttle Columbia. You can actually see Canada written on it with the Canadian flag. In the background of this shot, there is the curved, scaled corpse of a Chitauri Leviathan. And then further back in the distance, I think my favorite of all these is the ruins of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge, which is still broken from after Magneto tore it from its foundation and moved it to Alcatraz in 2006's X-Men The Last Stand, a shot that I broke down in our breakdown of that film. It was, at the time, one of the most expensive shots in film history, taking up a sixth of that film's budget, and also, logically, completely unnecessary when they rewrote the movie so that Alcatraz would not be a mutant prison anymore. Magneto just moved the bridge to give the Brotherhood, I guess, a path from Marin County to the island, when he could have just summoned a few fairies for them. Still, it looked amazing and was totally worth it. The car that Deadpool smashes through the back windshield of has a coexist non-denominational religious bumper sticker on the back. Right, later we see him on the inside of the car, the upholstery covered in blood. On the seats and upholstery are various spots with triple claw marks. So these obviously were left by Wolverine. But you'll also notice that Deadpool in the shot has some dark bloody wounds on his chest, on his left side, and ribs right side with triple stab marks from Wolverine's claws. So this would be after his run-in with Logan in the final shot of the trailer. There's a quick close-up of some Deadpool figure firing Uzis, but these gloves are different than our Deadpool's gloves. So now we're wondering if this might actually be Lady Deadpool with Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, rumored to appear in the role. Then there's this quick shot of Aaron Stanford Pyro from X2 in X-Men The Last Stand. He has goggles around his neck, and I may be wrong, but those kind of look like the bracers and straps of Captain America's uniform. You know, like the one that he tightened while he was fighting Thanos? So is there like a dead Steve Rogers bring down here and they picked pieces off of his body? If this gang of bandits includes Pyro from past eras of X-Men, who else would be in this group under these masks? Could be any of the supporting players. Sean Ashmore, Iceman, Anna Paquin, Rogue. We know that there's going to be some form of Tyler Sabretooth on the back. Jennifer Garner is confirmed in the cast as Elektra from the Ben Affleck era. Maybe we even get Chris Evans, but instead of Steve Rogers as a previous era Johnny Storm. I'm just saying it could be anyone. Now the shot of Aaron Stanford Pyro, I failed to point out, puts Pyro in a faded red and mustard yellow outfit with round red eyepieces. This is Pyro's appearance in the Ultimate Comics. So they found a way to make him comic accurate, and he looks great. Okay, on to the final part of this trailer.
I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, Deadpool gets tossed through the wall and lands on the ground. The shadow of Wolverine approaches and releases his claws in a beautifully rendered snake.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free. So he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at turbotax.com. That's me!
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. Make your moves count. See if you qualify at turbotax.com.
You don't see Wolverine here. Well, we kind of do when he bends over Wade to stab him. Actually, the Super Bowl TV spot does show Hugh Jackman's blurry form stepping up into frame. But either way, we don't need to see him in this trailer. We saw set photos of his glorious yellow and blue costume from the astonishing X-Men run, finally getting it right after the X-Men era put in black leather. And I think showing only the shadow is a bit classier, because it proves that this hero is so iconic, all you need is a shadow silhouette and the sound effects. But also it creates this really cool shot composition, because Deadpool is flat on the ground, his arms down by his side, while Wolverine's shadow is a head taller at first, and his arms fold upward to release the claws. It kind of suggests that Deadpool and Wolverine are kind of two sides of the same coin, and that Deadpool is just kind of the shadow of Wolverine, something that always follows him, which is just really clever because Wade Wilson got his powers through the same Weapons Plus program that previously worked on Wolverine. They have the same regenerative healing powers. And it kind of cracks me up that by tilting his head forward, Reynolds makes it so that his shadow is once again taller than Wolverine's shadow would be. Which is funny because Ryan Reynolds is 6'2", and he loves to make height jokes, and Wolverine is known for a stocky build as a character, so I think it's just going to be a recurring bit of who is taller. But Logan, by sneaking, forms the shape of the letter W for Wolverine, for Wade, and an upside down M for Mephisto. But we should talk about Wolverine's updated look for Deadpool and Wolverine. After the Fox X-Men movies put X-Men in black leather and even made fun of blue and yellow spandex, this right here is returned to form. While the animated Wolverine was sleeveless, this costume puts Wolverine in sleeves, reportedly because Hugh Jackman had some skin cancer on his arms. But I love how they built into his gloves little sheaths on the knuckles for his adamantium claws. And then the craziest Easter egg in this trailer, on the far left, a bottle of Pingo Doce.
What the fuck? Caviar is behind.
That
What the
Bruce
fuck?
Banner worked in Brazil in the 2008 Incredible Hulk film that Bruce bled into, and then Stan Lee drank one of these bottles and got sick. No, Stan and everyone else didn't turn into Hulks themselves, they just all got sick, and maybe this bottle was proved to the void so that Stan Lee didn't get sick. Anyway, that's the the only Easter egg here. Bye, everybody. Just kidding. The second detail is the comic book underneath it. This is Secret Wars number 5, the 2015 Jonathan Hickman run. It is a cover that features God Emperor Doom and the Beyonder. So we did technically finally get a Dr. Doom appearance in the MCU. But what's important about this issue is that it explores the creation of Battle World. And I cannot think of a more overt statement of what exactly this shot, this scene, and this movie are doing. We know that Marvel Studios is adapting Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out storyline that leads up to the 2015 Secret Wars crossover event in the comics. John Krasinski, Reed Richards, and Multiverse of Madness.
I got a knife from behind by
exact same language as Reed Richards in the beginning of Hickman's run. And placing this specific comic issue right here on the ground, no coincidence. They're confirming that the Void, or at least this part of the Void, is what will later become Battle World.
I threw a drone, nigga. I threw a drone, nigga. She just knifed the shit out of me.
Initially to be consumed
What?
and deconstructed by Alliance, but will be
What the
repurposed in this
fuck?
movie into a battleground that will later be used by
What
some
are we
villains,
in,
figures,
Copper?
Could be Kang, could be an MCU Doom, to create new teams to duke it out for which universe
She
deserves to
smacked
live
the
on
fuck out
after
of me.
this
I said, what the
event.
fuck?
This is how Marvel Studios will bring back all fallen
I said, what the
characters
hell?
from Battle Royale with heroes from all past eras of Marvel. The MCU,
What the fuck
Fox
she
universe,
got,
the
fam?
Universe, as all these heroes will finally be able to
Smack.
appear in a film together.
Alright,
See, Deadpool,
bitch. I got
believe
something
will
for your
stay
ass.
in this mission to fix these broken universes. He'll only make them more broken, and he's gonna end up with so many pruned heroes that there will be just more of them in this hell battleground than ones that
We
exist
doing
in
Vert?
the
We doing
realities,
Vert?
and that's how we're gonna get Battle World. And one final detail, because at Moondog's Landing on Twitter keeps nagging me about this, on the final Deadpool and Wolverine logo, this guy says
Can you
that they're
ram up?
hitting Mickey
You can ram
on
up there,
A,
right?
And yes, there are 3 small circles there, but look, I don't know. Some folks just love to point to any 3 adjacent circles.
Somebody
and
go
say that they are
Dokkaebi so we
Jews. I
can
don't know
caviar
if 3
don't
Sons
get
of
our
Xandar in the final shot of Guardians of the Galaxy is an intentional hidden Mickey by James Gunn. But in this case, I will allow it, because this
The
is
calves
where
on
both
Pier
with
Blue.
Deadpool making a joke about pegging in a Disney movie.
Pegging isn't good for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
And I just think that Ryan Reynolds loves the fact that he's getting away with all this violence and his raunchy humor under the Disney banner. And yes, it is easy to overlook the fact that this movie is not called Deadpool 3, it is called Deadpool and Wolverine. So it is as much a Wolverine movie as it is a Deadpool one. While we're likely to see a lot of Deadpool variants in this movie, I think we are just as likely to see quite a few Wolverine variants. X-23 Daphne Keane, Daniel Radcliffe, Taron Egerton, Keanu Reeves, Russell Crowe. And I also think we're going to see callbacks to Hugh Jackman's entire career. Because in Deadpool's eyes from the 2016 film, Hugh Jackman was a guy whose face was on the magazine. So yeah, at some point in this movie, Wolverine is going to be called Prisoner 24601. Look, folks, we're going to be talking a lot about this trailer and the Deadpool and Wolverine film on New Rockstars throughout this year. So please subscribe to catch up on all the installments of our X-Men Stick Rewatch. And the best way to support New Rockstars is to grab one of these Deadpool Multiverse Tour shirts at nerdright.shop, because I still believe that Taylor Swift is going to be in this movie. I'm Eric Voss. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Gang, gang.
Get this up and get this up.
Boogie on the field.
Okay, where the fuck the site at, y'all?
Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author and evangelical leader, here to remind you that God himself is hearing your prayers during these uncertain economic times. In fact, there's a promise in the Bible where God declares that he will get personally involved with the warfare over your finances. It says in Malachi, I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, so he will not destroy the fruit of your ground. That means that God himself wants to protect the harvest of what you stored up. Let's take, for example, your retirement savings. You work very hard for your money, and God has rewarded you for that. But now with record inflation eating away the value of the U.S. dollar, the fruit from that vineyard is being daily taken from you. But there is a way that the faithful can fight back. By diversifying your retirement account into gold, your savings can be protected, just like God wants. And even better, a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group allows you to transfer your current retirement into gold without fees or penalties. Now to see how that works, what you do is you click on the link or the button below to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. That report you're going to see will walk you right through all the steps you need to transfer your current retirement account into physical gold. Just click the link or button below to get your free copy. There's nothing to buy, there's no obligation, so take action now, and I pray that you and your family are continuously blessed.
Doorway. I'll watch anything.
I'll
That's where I always play my Rooney. Yeah, we got 20 seconds. He knows it's a wrap, that's why. He's got to kill 2 guys and it's a wrap.
10 seconds remaining.
Good ass, bitch.
Bomb successful.
Ice!
Hey, I was in there too. I got a kill, baby. I'm in there too. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, I'm coming in.
Fucking staring at me.
If y'all want that bomb, I would grab it. I cleared my side. I cleared that shit.
Hell the fuck now.
Hey, somebody else grab bombs, y'all want. Somebody else grab bombs.
How we doing this? We doing vert again?
You need to use your drone to locate a bomb.
Alright, so you want me to go Nomad, Ying, or Grim? Nomad,
Straight
Ying,
up
or Grim?
horizontal.
Nomad, Ying, or Grim? Nomad, Ying, or Grim?
They are not downstairs. Not downstairs.
They're in weapons.
What y'all want? No.
Same shit. Heavy hard reach. Heavy hard reach. Gonna get a third. Yeah.
10 seconds to go.
They're downstairs.
That shit sexy.
They're not in weapons.
5 seconds before insertion. Your mission is to locate and
beat them?
defuse a bomb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
Okay.
Swapping mags.
Turn around for me, please.
Welcome, guys. Strike, smack.
TO's dead as fuck.
Goddamn, boy.
He's
You
literally.
right here. Watch out!
C4! Pussy ass nigga.
You want me to rotate?
Food for thought.
Rotate. It's a GG. Just rotate over here. I can get this side open. Oh shit,
We gotta walk through sight, bro. We gotta walk through sight to do that, bro.
You located a
Go
bomb.
outside. Yeah, this shit is soft. Nothing on it. Nothing on it.
Coming. Yeah, you can open it then.
No, it's not soft, but there's nothing on it.
Oh shit.
PK!
He's close here. Nice. Keep that hold down.
Must recover the diffuser. The diffuser has been secured.
I'm watching it.
Alright.
There's one about to push this breach.
Oh shit. I got you. Use the pain to drive you to greater heights. Hey, there's one. Listen, one to left.
Ooh, I almost hit him.
There's one left, one middle, one right. There's one here. He keeps swinging. He's swinging right.
Somebody watch this.
There's one here.
The diffuser is no longer in possession.
Go on, ready.
Down to one friendly.
To your right, Drizz. They're all to your right.
15 seconds.
Kill it.
10 seconds.
There you go. You got it. You
All
were good.
friendlies have been eliminated.
Y'all was all by each other. That's why y'all got smacked like that. Y'all was getting y'all ass told the fuck up. That shit funny as hell.
Gotta do something.
You know that pop. You know that pop. You know that pop.
Upstairs, your drone has located a bomb.
I got the smoke shotty back.
Yeah. I'm a spawn. Backup hard breach.
Insertion in 10 seconds. 5 seconds. You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Drone ready.
One's here.
Enemy located. Second floor.
Peeking just like he did last time. Just the bandit. Come here, pussy. I want you.
You ready, nerdy? Yeah, go ahead.
He's laying there.
Swapping man.
Is he?
Yeah, he's this one. Chop my drone.
I'm watching some shit.
He's there still. He's there. They shot both on drones, I think. Yeah, my drone.
Hit him off. Shot. Got it. Got it. Yeah, we're good.
You're good in here, Cardi. You're good in here, Cardi.
Yeah.
Reaching with someone.
Exercise.
You have dropped the
Hey,
diffuser.
down the stairs. Green stairs. The one you put the thing on.
The diffuser is now secure.
Bandit is hurt. I shot him a little bit.
Drone active.
Drone active.
They're in the room we play. We do the castle strategy.
Activating stability.
Claymore ready.
In the breach. I tag him here.
Go on, ready.
I'm watching you. Go ahead. I got the echo. Now.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession. Down to one friendly. All friendlies have been eliminated.
roof.
One on B door, B door. Flores. Yeah, B. Nice. Nice, good shit, dude.
Over here, looking at. He got one left. He got one
Another
left.
one coming, another one coming.
He got it off. Oh, he got it?
One is B door. One here.
Hey, I'm watching this from the long angle.
We traded. Three of them pushing the B door.
He hacked the K. He hacked the K.
The thermite's dead. No, thermite's dead. Y'all good, y'all good.
Can I get a dot?
Reloading! They know I'm here. They know I'm here. On my door. On my door. On my door.
Reloading, cover me!
One op 4 remaining. 15 seconds. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated. We need to locate a bomb.
Any call outs where they are?
Basement for sure. Grab the hatch. I just caught one grabbing a hatch. That might have been Cap.
10
I'm not
seconds.
sure. I didn't see who it was.
Switch up the hash.
5 seconds before insertion. Your mission is to locate and defuse a bomb.
Damn it, Miles.
Yeah, they just got this right here.
Can you open up just like more pellets of that? Just like right across the middle. Appreciate you, cousin.
Alright, what's the word, bro? Let's get up in here. I'll join y'all right side.
Drone's ready.
Always clear.
Yeah.
Over this one, now we engineer, medical. Go reception
I
over here.
need medical.
Upstairs in medical, upstairs
Be careful of cab, boys.
Now sounds like
They base? They base? Yeah, they're basement. They're basement. JD, I'm droning your down here for you, warehouse. It's looking clear. Yeah, you're good, JD. It's clear.
Time to make a new door.
I'm gonna drone down this hall. One's at the end of the
Yeah, he just shot at me.
You gotta grab those.
Upstairs where we are.
Check me, cakes. Right there next to you. On burn. He's far over here.
Upstairs.
Bomb has been located.
Nice. I'm gonna drop. Banis and bomb A.
Oh. Inside, throw in a C4. Oh.
Nice.
I got cams.
That's connector dead.
I got cams.
I'm flipping. We have echo.